Gentlemen, there's much talk on the legal element here and the element or the layer of legitimacy. It all comes down to trust or lack thereof at the end of the day.
Yeah. No Shin Bet chief has ever been fired in Israel. This would be unprecedented.
Well, no October 7th ever happened in Israel.
Indeed. Look, it must be said, the Shin Bet failed spectacularly on October 7th. But on the other hand, in their own internal inquiry that was published and leaked in recent weeks and months, they sort of admit to that, but also claim that there are warnings that the schism in Israel caused by the current government with its judicial overhaul was going to lead to an attack, and that was ignored.
But this all goes back to the finger-pointing discourse. And there is a basic question we can discuss, and we will be discussing the how, but the what. The fact that the head of the Shin Bet needs to conclude his term.
This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
He has said he would go, and the government can fire him, absolutely. But there's a procedure in Israel for how to fire the head of the Shin Bet. And that procedure involves some sort of a review of the reasons for it and for going through the steps that are necessary. And one reason for firing Shin Bet cannot be that he no longer is liked or trusted by the Prime Minister. He is not a personal appointment of the Prime Minister. So there's an inelegance about this that creates what the Attorney General called the suspicion of illegality, conflict of interest, because we must not forget that the man who's about to be fired probably tonight is also leading the agency that is investigating the Prime Minister's office.
And yet the Supreme Court is telling the Attorney General, you have nothing to do with approving or disapproving this.
Well, and moreover, the Attorney General that's trying to block this is herself en route to being fired.
Yeah.
So this is a blowing up of the entire Israeli
culmination of
internal gatekeepers system that is in place for a reason. Because in Israel's brittle democracy, there's a need for these gatekeepers to prevent the country from sliding into authoritarianism, and to do this during the escalation of a major military conflict is problematic.
One side saying, yay, democracy. One side saying, end of democracy. There's no middle here.
Look, the breakdown of trust here between the Shin Bet and the government is obviously bad for Israel, bad for security, bad for society. There have to be better ways to manage fundamental disagreements between the political echelon and the head of the Domestic Intelligence Agency. Now, it's important to point out, one of the things that really saddens me is that when we talk about the Shin Bet, and it has become a conversation that's political.
Right, the Shin Bet is a shadow organization.
I think this is tragic. Yeah. Let's remember, the Shin Bet is the organization that saves so many lives every month, prevents so many terror attacks. This is what it's there to do. This is what it does day in and day out. So,
and in a clandestine fashion, not such a public manner.
And we don't hear about these successes, but that's what enables us to actually live here, basically, it's the Shin Bet. So,
and on that note, gentlemen.
It is okay for them to disagree. It has to be done in a way that is not
the what
toxic.
Is one thing, the how completely different story.